You know, he probably stood out right from when he was very little. I think his enthusiasm, he just had that zest for life. So it was everything he found an interest in, and he could talk to anyone too, old people, young people, engaged everyone with how he spoke to them.
It's a mix of so many different things. His enthusiastic nature and his passion for so many different things, but that passion translated just bringing everyone together.
Basically, he was willing to make friends with anyone, and he would find common ground, same interest, something, topic of conversation to talk with for anyone.
I think it's just his commitment towards things. It wasn't necessarily that he was better at it, it was just he really wanted to, excel at it. He was really competitive.
Obviously on my radar as someone who was really interested in media, and he seemed really friendly as well, so that was when I first remember him.
Six o'clock one morning, he's trying to get up so he can get the sunrise coming over the mountains at a certain spot. So up we get and trudge off up onto the mountains, and he sets himself up, and we sit there for an hour or so while he gets the sunrise coming up, and he's happy.
I think it was 2006 maybe that Mum and Dad bought him his first iPad, and he went nuts with all the taking photos and editing them and everything using the apps that he could on the iPad.
So that was early days. That was
really early, but that was his starting of taking photos and sort of putting it all together.
He was always taking photos or making little videos.
Yeah, he'd make videos of our holidays, put photos together.
He showed me a time lapse on Facebook of I think it was one of his star ones, and I got him to show me the rest of it.
But I think from then that kind of inspired him to get his own equipment, because Dad I think he'd only recently bought the camera, and so he told Hamish, you learn how it works and then you can teach me.
Every cent he earned would spend it on camera equipment, so the new lenses and different tripods.
I don't think Hamish ever taught Dad.
Oh, he never did. Hamish kind of just took over. And Dad let him. Dad just was more than happy that the camera was getting used.
I forced him to enter photography competitions. So he would refuse. He's like, my photos aren't good enough. And so I stole them off him and forced him to enter photography competitions as his manager, almost. But yeah.
Okay, just hang on a moment. We're sending someone over to you. Now, where do you live?
3 houses down from Linden Park. Just please tell them to come quickly.
It kind of blew out a bit when he did Tropfest Junior.
Came home one day and said, have you heard of Tropfest? And had just heard of it that day, and
We knew a little bit about it, but not much.
I was tossing and turning in bed. I couldn't get to sleep.
Just him and some friends from Campbell High decided, I've heard of Tropfest before, let's apply and let's put together a film. So they each came up with their ideas and decided, all right, we don't want to clash. So Liam, Tyson and Hamish all decided to make their own films. And they'd help each other out, but each one would take charge of their own film respectively.
One night he's got a couple of friends over and he's making his film. Next thing he's entered it with about 500 or 600 other entries.
And then from there he's managed to get down to the top 16, I think, with the finalists.
And we're going, you better show us this film.
We don't know how he did that, but it was just his talent, his passion and his creativity that came out and flourished.
Could you see what it was? I was talking about Tropfest very early on in year 10, and I said, I'm about to show a film from Tropfest. Does anyone know what Tropfest is? And Hamish puts his hand up and goes, yeah, I know what it is. And I go, what is it? He goes, it's a short film festival. I was in it.
I met Hamish at Tropfest Junior in 2013, where we both had made the finals, and I didn't know him back then. That was in year 9, and we both went to different schools.
So I basically got 2 students from the whole of Australia who were both in my year 10 who both got into the same film festival.
Mate, it's been 5 days and he's been depressed the whole time. Does it look like he feels better?
Shut up, Nick. You're just making him feel worse.
And I ended up forgetting about that totally. But in year 10, when he came to Melbourne High, and he was like, oh, hey, Kalana, you remember me from Tropfest? And I paused for a moment because I couldn't recognize him, but he remembered me.
What about a film where we just play around with corn chips and we're looking for that perfect crunch?
It's just so random, like the stuff they came up with. I don't know how, like they have obviously had a lot of creativity as well, because they just came up with the most random topics and it actually really worked really well.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking, B1?
I think I am, B2.
Yes. We both did Year 10 media together, and we're in the same group, in the same class, and basically immediately from day one he just took over the project completely. He wrote the script before Frencham even mentioned the word script.
You even got the bonus questions right, little snake. No one got them. No one did.
Actually, I got the first one right too.
What? Can you be in it, Mr. Frencham? Yes, of course I can be in it. That's fine. Just tell me when you need me. And so I thought, that's fine, you know, they'll go away and do their thing.
But he just took it on completely, you know, and got his equipment together, you know, wrote the script, casting, filmed it all himself. We didn't do anything.
They've been beating me to find where I got the answers from.
No, come on, boys. That's all right, we'll get you out of here right away. It's just a shame that nobody believes you.
What?
Where did you get the answers?
He said, oh, we're ready to shoot now. And I said, oh, great, okay. And he goes, oh, well, here's the script. And I was like, okay. Huh? So this is like 3 pages of dialogue. How am I supposed to learn this? And he's like, oh, it will be fine. And I said, no, we won't be fine. I can't learn 3 pages of dialogue in like 5 minutes. But he was really happy to collaborate, which was good. But yeah, look, it's Hamish's film all the way. Like he went away and rough cut was done within a week
and then edited it, and it was just done, and we didn't do anything, and it was amazing, and we were just like, yep, you got this.
We had a rowing open day, and he was proficient on the ergo. He was, you know, more coordinated than anyone else there. So he caught our eye, and he told us that he rowed before, so we were all very excited.
He actually started at Camberwell High, but they don't have it's just
they
one
don't
of
have a program. They row out of another shed down in Melbourne.
I think it was one of the ones that drew him to Melbourne High a bit. He knew they had a rowing program, and I think probably helped him get in his foot in the door at Melbourne High a bit.
He's very good at sculling, but when we were making the boats for nationals, he just never really fit into one. Unfortunately, he was always put in the boat, and no matter how hard he tried, the boat would slow down. So the coaches would tell him to, you know, try harder, row harder, and you could see it on his face that he was really pushing himself. So, but even when he wasn't in a crew, he would come down and he would take out a scull and row by himself. He was really committed to trying to get the best out of rowing. He was really competitive with everyone else. Like, he wanted to be up there. He wanted to make a boat.
Yeah, it fitted well with his personality and the passion, the drive, and the whole crew, the whole team just had the best bonding and just got along so well. And he just loved the social, the culture, all those aspects of rowing at Melbourne High. Absolutely devoured it.
I remember we had a race up at Geelong, and he was on a family holiday. And at the place he was staying, there happened to be an ergo, and he didn't have to do it, but he got on and he did the same amount of races that we did, but by himself.
Very passionate about rowing, filmmaking. Yep, were his big passions at the moment. Yeah.
When he found out, obviously upset at the time, and we got the call from our auntie who pushed through the paperwork a bit quicker and got the results sooner, and got the results, and it was diabetes. Not much you could do about it.
And Jackson just sat there on the couch over here cuddling him, and by the time I walked in, he was sort of composing himself, and his attitude was very much, well, there's nothing I can do about it. This is it. I've got to learn how to manage my diabetes.
Yeah, first day at the hospital at Royal Children's, and they'd given him his first insulin injections, and he stops the nurse and goes, wait, do you mind if I do it? If I'm going to have to do it for the rest of my life.
He wouldn't let it define him, and it wouldn't let him stop him do anything, but responsible in that his friends always knew.
They knew about it all.
Yeah.
And they looked after him.
He was very open about it. He had it, you know, just attached to his hip, the little insulin machine, and he would often share his jelly beans with people.
He was just known as the guy with jelly beans all the time, or the guy and drinking Diet Coke like it was water.
That became his thing, Diet Coke, because he was obsessed and everyone knew it. That was just like, you'd go to parties and he would just take a big bottle of Diet Coke along with him, and he was set
2
for the night.
litres and he'd
That
go
was
through the whole
literally
thing.
it. He would be like, everyone else is drinking and he's there like, I'm set, I've got my Diet Coke, I don't need anything else.
Hamish, look at me. Hamish.
The morning that we found out, I was running late to school and I was running up the stairs and I walked into form assembly and everyone was just silent, and then they gave out this like little slip that said Hamish O'Donnell has passed away, and like we just sat down and we just sat there in silence because we didn't know what to do.
We are a very close family, so we just held one another tight and be supporting one another.
He said, take my hand.
I think everyone found it hard to deal with, I think. But I don't think anyone's really willing to say how they felt.
You don't really know what it feels like until they've gone. Like, you can't picture or imagine how it would feel if someone suddenly disappeared, because you just can't comprehend that it's actually going to happen.
I don't think we were left alone. The amount of support, I think the people closest to us really just, it's at closing ranks and just, puts you in this protective environment.
The help we got just getting Amelia home from Disney World, because she had to travel back from being overseas knowing that her brother had passed away.
There were moments where I was like on the plane on my own and I'd stop and I'd be like, hold on, this has actually happened, this is real. And it just hit me.
We had the strength there to get through it, to pick one another up when you're down.
In some ways, I was surprised that he'd be having a memorial at the school when he was only here for a year and a half. But in other ways, it was like the school's offered, and Hamish's parents decided that's what they want to do, and I thought that was great.
I personally like the open funeral, because it wasn't necessary. It was students who came along who knew Hamish, but also students who were friends with me and the Frencham group who were there to support it. It was very much like it just seemed very fitting. The rowing boys carried the casket out, and when we sent him off, it felt like it wasn't just sort of leaving the funeral house. It was like sort of separating him from the school.
I wish I had one more time to speak to him. Say things I wanted him to hear that we both thought we had time to say. I would tell him, you didn't come to Sydney with us. Or did you win any of the photo competitions I forced you to enter?
We want to film it, but you don't have to film it. You can get someone else. Get someone else to do it. And I said, no. You would have wanted me to film it and use the best lenses possible. So that's what I did, and that was my way of coping. But I couldn't watch the videos.
I know you were going to be there, right there with me through everything I do in life, and everything I do in life, I'm going to be doing with you. I love you, mate. I miss you, and I'll never forget you.
So it all started with Hamish had his camera and his equipment and everything he'd invested in. He'd bought a $2,000 lens just a few months before he passed away. What sort of 17, 16-year-old kid does that? But anyway, he was passionate about it, and something I never fully grasped until recently, after his passing, and went, well, there's this camera lying around here.
Well, he's taken it up.
Yeah.
Taken up the photography after Hamish passed away.
Yeah, and taken it up in an unbelievable way. It's like Hamish is living on in Jackson.
Took the camera up to Rushworth one weekend, I remember. Just me and my girlfriend went up there, and I went out to take some photos in the paddock of the stars, and got the first photo, and it was this blurry, shaky thing, and I just go, well, okay, I've got a lot to go here. So it just kind of just took this on board myself, and lots of YouTube tutorials, lots of just any online resource I could find, and just took it upon myself to learn how to take photos and teach myself. And from there started getting some pretty decent ones. Started perfecting the night sky ones, which is probably where Hamish's iconic photos come from. And it eventuated to a point where I had quite a few built up and going, I want to be able to share these with everyone, and I want to be able to show Hamish's photos to everyone because they were so incredible. And so I started the Hamish Project, which is an Instagram account.
So it's using Hamish's work and using his own work, and you know how Hamish has inspired him.
When we went away to Birdsville just recently, managed to take a fair few photos up there, and have just been slowly putting them up on Instagram and sharing them amongst some of Hamish's photos that he previously took.
It's a good way to sort of keep his memory going by doing something that he was really passionate about, rather than letting that passion sort of die and be forgotten.
A friend of mine has also started doing photography and trying to do things like that. But I remember talking to Jackson after the funeral, because the Melbourne High and the Campbell people would come here and visit the family, and he said that he was going to give photography a go and finally have a crack at it and stuff like that. So the project is really beautiful.
Yeah, so really I don't know where it'll end up going, but that's the exciting part of it.
Kind of a nice moment. We filmed in the principal's office, and I remember going in there, and then sitting on the wall there was a big portrait of Hamish.
I want to repeat year 12.
Look, I'm very sorry, Milton, but I'm afraid that's not possible.
And it was kind of just nice to know that he was kind of there when I was filming my year 12 film.
I just hope that he's safe and that, he's got hold of a camera and a nice lens.
He definitely challenged us, not in a bad way, but he definitely tried to push us to make good films. And I think definitely that reflects in our year 12 films when we try to really challenge ourselves in making really good films that even Hamish could be proud of.
I like to think he's up there and he can see how he has affected in a positive way people's lives.
There was a lot more to Hamish that was left behind with everyone, and everyone has a story to tell about him.
It's just an inspiration to so many people, and I think not many people would have left a mark or a legacy like he has. Tying your shoelace. Putting on a jumper, a pant, getting dressed.
Yes.
Jumping high.
Yeah, on.
What are you doing?
On snow ski jumps.
Yeah.
Injections. Giving blood.
Yeah.
What is that?
Skip. You naughty boy. Beat a naughty boy.
Skip. Thanks.